Hey YouTube, this is Shadow Slayer. I figure I'd bring y'all a deck profile for a fun deck that I'm kind of been interested in a while, and I figure I'd throw it together. It's actually not running too terribly bad, but I would like some input on it. As you can tell, this is a King of the Skull Servant deck. Not a bad zombie build. I'm missing, like the more common staples would probably help this deck a lot better, like Mizuki, Plague Spreader, Solemn Judgment. This is just basically a little fun deck. It's playing 3 King of the Skull Servants. Little 1-star !0 dude. It says the original attack of this card becomes the number of King of the Skull Servant or Skull Servant cards in your graveyard, times 1,000. When this card is destroyed and sent to the graveyard, as a result of battle, remove from play 1 King of the Skull Servants or Skull Servant, and special summon this card back to the field. Well, playing 3 of those. 2 of the normal guy Skull Servants. These just recently came out in Starstrike Blast. And this is the main reason why I thought about playing this deck. This is a 1-star 300/200 that says, while this card is in the graveyard, its name is also treated as Skull Servant. You can discard this card to activate one of the following effects. You can either select one removed from play Skull Servant or White Mare and return it to the graveyard, or select one of your removed from play the Lady or White or a King of the Skull Servants and special summon it. He kind of ties in the whole combo with how this deck works and can OTK. Next up, I'm playing 2 the Lady in White. Lady in White is a 3-star 0/2200 that says face up level 3 or lower zombie type monsters you control, except for her, cannot be destroyed by battle and are unaffected by the effects of spell and trap cards. And this card's name is also treated as Skull Servant while it's in the graveyard. So while she's in the graveyard, there's another power boost. So let's see, 1, 2, 3 ways for a power boost right there. So multiple copies, yeah, he's going to be a pretty big guy once you get him out. Cool thing about it is she's a defender, and she also keeps him from being deprisoned, mirror forced, and everything else, as long as she stays on the field. So with her big 22 def, yeah, you have to figure out how to keep her on the field. I'm also playing 2 Pyramid Turtles. Easiest way, most common search card for zombies out there. 3 Zombie Masters. It's easy to ditch to get King of the Skull Servant back. So yeah, it boosts his attack, especially if you're ditching a White Mare Skull Servant, King of the Skull Servant, or a Lady in White for his effect. 2 Zombie Masters. Just about everything but Lady in White is searchable. She's the only thing that's not. 1 Sangan. Once again, he searches out everything in the deck. That's freaking sweet to me. And this is my own personal tech for this deck. With having to discard a lot, well, not really having to discard, but having to use the graveyard a lot, this little guy actually ties in the deck because he can fill up the graveyard to get a massive attack King of the Skull Servant out there. So, he's my own little tech, especially since, well, now he's back up to 3, which is just ridiculous, but I'm playing 2. I like Snipe Hunter. As for spell cards, I'm playing 1 for 1. All the Skull Servant cards, Skull Servant, White Mare, and King of the Skull Servant, all 1-stars that can be searched out by this. So if your graveyard's full, hey, ditch a Skull Servant, get a King of the Skull Servant, and boost his attack even more. Monster Reborn. I am playing 2 enemy controllers. It's easy to sack one off that you don't need in order to, well, get a monster more power for that OTK hit. Playing 3 Book of Lives. 1, 2, 3. It's a zombie deck. Why wouldn't you play Book of Life? Giant Chernade, Dark Hole. Small and personal attack. With the King of the Skull Servants being at level 1, I don't think this is a bad card. If I had a Guardian Bond, I would probably use G-Bond too. I'm playing 2 Hand Destructions. Kind of makes sense with you having to draw and having to ditch. 1 Allure of Darkness for draw. Foolish Burial. And creature swaps. Can't fill your graveyard up fast enough, throw a King of the Skull Servant on the field. Switch it, attack it, bring it back, do more damage. That's actually a pretty good combo. I'm playing 2 Trap Stuns, 1 7 Tools, and 1 Roll Decree. If I had more Roll Decrees, I'd probably just play straight up 3, but that was kind of all I had. As I was saying, this is a fun deck, but any help with it would be greatly appreciated. I'm trying to make it better. I want to make it kind of tournament worthy. A Mizuki would help the deck out a lot if I had one. I really don't care about synchroing in this deck, so Plague Spreader kind of out of the picture for me, because this is basically just a removal OTK deck. Escape from Dark Dimension probably wouldn't be a bad idea, but I'll let you guys tell me. YouTubers, tell me what you think. This is my King of the Skull Servant deck, and this is Shadow Slayer out.